Welcome.
Hello, thanks for joining us again. We have made it back from the very, very tip of Cape York. It was an incredible trip, but we thought it might be time to share the nitty gritty and some figures with you guys.
Tell you how much it cost us and what went wrong.
Yeah, there's a few things that went wrong, but we'll get to that. So if you've just come across this video, we started off in Ballarat, Victoria. We drove with a 100 series cruiser and our new Jayco Crosstrak all the way up to the very, very tip of Australia and then come back down again. So it was a pretty awesome trip and yeah.
Very eventful.
Yes, and we have a breakdown of all the costings. So did you want to go through the costings first and then we can go through the other stuff? Or?
Well, first we'll tell them what we did. How many nights did we take from Ballarat?
So in total, we did...
it was 47?
Yeah, 47 nights.
47 nights.
Yep, oh, sorry, that was on my
from
other
Ballarat
file.
to the tip.
And back again.
And then back.
But having said that, in that time frame, we did catch up with some of John's family, which allocated for about a week or a week and a half.
Yeah.
Just staying in the one spot.
But it was a good amount of time.
It was. So, total fuel costs, which I know everybody's itching to know that. Our total fuel cost was $3,984.73. So that wasn't
And what did we end up doing? We ended up doing about 13,000 kilometres.
Yes, I have the kilometres here. We did 9,039 kilometres.
9,039. There you go.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I got everything.
That's our Landcruiser's a manual as well, so I mean, autos might use a little bit more.
There might have been a receipt here or there I might have missed, so maybe allow $500 extra, but I'm pretty sure I got it all, but you know, sometimes things happen.
So what was the fuel figure again?
Total fuel cost, $3,984.73.
There we go.
For just under 10,000 kilometres. We did a lot of free camping, so we only stayed in caravan parks a handful of times, so we spent $703 on accommodation.
Yeah, do we know how many nights were in there?
Yes, we do. Hold on one second. We've got... I think there was about a week all up we stayed in caravan
parks and paid accommodation.
Yeah. So that was pretty good. I mean, if you're someone who wants to stay in caravan parks all the time, obviously that's going to be a lot more expensive. But we found that the free camping was great. Like, we prefer free camping anyway.
And that's why we got the Crosstrak.
Everything's in it.
Everything's in it.
All right, so other stuff that I've put, like, everything in that I possibly could get in. Like, our son and his girlfriend come up, so we had to buy swag for them. So I've chucked that in as well. So this is all inclusive. There was $2,280 on bits and pieces. So that was our crocodile cruise and the ferry crossing the Jardine River, the kids' swag.
Eating out at Punsam Bay.
No, eating out's a separate one.
Separate?
So this is just all the extra bits and pieces that we got. All right, so I'll just move along to the next one. So eating out, like John said. So we got, the beautiful, beautiful spot at Punsam Bay. It was expensive, but it's worth going there. It was incredible. So this includes like when we had Domino's or Hungry Jack's, or if we did go out somewhere really nice. We spent a total of $595 on takeaway food. And supermarket foods, I also put that in as well. That was $1,502 in supermarket stuff, so you know, whatever you expect to get from a supermarket.
But it was well serviced all the way up there too, wasn't it?
It was.
Bamaga has a really nice supermarket.
Yeah, it's called Ibis, but it's kind of like a Woolies. So if you hear any horror stories that you can't buy food up there, it's a bit nonsense. Even the roadhouses up to the actual tip, like obviously you pay for it, but you could get everything you needed. So grand total, the entire cost of the whole trip was $9,064.73.
For 47 nights.
47 nights, yep.
Which I think is pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's very good. Now, we certainly went on the lean side of things. We have done a similar trip to this before when we just drove up and stayed in accommodation and we lived like kings up there, and it was really nice. But when we did it with the kids, we got to Cooktown and they said, oh, it's just another pool. It's kind of, it kind of does become a little bit copy paste. So this time we wanted to eat out of the caravan, enjoy the scenery more than just going out to restaurants and stuff. So
now that figure includes repairs too, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, there was a bit that we had go on.
Yes.
On the way.
Sam and Abby arrived in Cairns, and the very next day we had Sam fixing an alternator on the side of the road.
Yeah.
John can talk about that a little bit thing.
Yeah, we had this costing too was for 3 of us for the full 47 days and 5 of us for 8 days.
Yes, but it didn't include the kids' flight, so I haven't put that in there. That was separate. Yeah.
Yeah, but normally that wouldn't happen if anyone else is costing it for themselves.
Yeah.
I think, what was the dearest fuel we had? Like $2.80 a litre, I think, for diesel?
I think so. I don't think I put the...
Yeah, I just remember seeing what it was at Bamaga. It was $2.80, which I thought was quite reasonable.
For when you're in the middle of nowhere like that. I shouldn't say the middle of nowhere, but you're in a remote place, like you're a distance away.
The Jardine River ferry, that was all in that.
Yep, that was all in that.
And I think it's worth noting too that that's gone up to $250 for this year. So there's been a significant price increase, but that includes...
Sorry, it was $205, not $250.
That was...
The ferry crossing.
No, but it's gone up to $250 for this year.
Okay, right, I'm with you. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't have any lines there either. Like everybody says, oh, I get there first thing, there's going to be a massive line. And there's no one.
Availability of campsites was quite good. And that was, we were July, August.
Yeah, no, that was fine. As I said, like if you wanted to go to the really big, like touristy places, like big caravan parks and stuff, like Weeper, for instance, we stayed at the caravan park and it was chockers. We got put in like the little back row, which they said was like, we'll squeeze you in. It was actually one of the better spots because it was huge. But if you want free camping, we
didn't show a lot of the Weeper campground, actually. I didn't film much there.
Yeah.
We did the crocodile cruise, and that was good.
That was really good.
It was actually a really nice caravan park to stay at.
Yeah, and they have a takeaway stop there. What was it called? I think I've written it down. It's got a funny name to it. Barramunchies.
Barramunchies.
And that was right on the beach too. So at night time they have all the little fairy lights and the music, and you can go down there and have a barramunchie and then go back. And it
was good. You could watch the sunset over the ocean.
That was really good. Yeah, that was
which
great.
Is unusual for Easterners.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so there's a couple of things that the people we travelled with, they did a couple of extra things that we didn't because we just wanted to go back and do it with Sam and Abby when we go back a different time.
Yeah, we'll definitely do another trip. We intentionally left half of it undone, so we have to go back.
Yeah. If you do happen to go up there to Bamaga, at the servo they serve pizzas there. Best pizzas ever. Go up there just for a pizza.
Just at the service station.
Yeah, great pizzas. Did you want to talk about the things that went wrong?
What did we have?
The alternator was probably...
The alternator was the first thing that went wrong, and that's, if you go back in our videos, you can see clearly there that we had to hightail it back to... Mareeba. And, get another alternator.
We got crashed into.
Yeah, we got crashed into. That was...
That wasn't much fun.
Yeah.
We were just stopped at the traffic lights and a fellow got his foot stuck or something or other and he crashed into us. But insurance is dealing with all that, so that shouldn't be a problem. I think that's testament to the Crosstrak. We got crashed into by a car and then we still went to the Cape and back.
York and back.
So that's testament to how good this caravan is. I was surprised, to be honest.
On the return from Cape York, we shattered a plate inside one battery on the cruiser.
Yes. Yeah.
So we got 2 new batteries at Mackay on the way home.
Yep.
So that was another cost we sort of weren't expecting.
Yeah, and that's also included.
But the corrugated roads take their toll.
Yeah, they do.
The pin fell out of the rear handbrake cable.
Oh, another thing that, you and Sam fixed.
Yeah, we put a bolt in it, so we've got to order another one of them. The light bar fell off on the front bull bar. Luckily, we caught that in time because it was about to fall off completely.
Yeah.
So, some spring washers and bolts, and we put that back on. the aerial, the UHF aerial, snapped in half. That really surprised me.
It's right in front of where I look in the passenger side, so I was not devastated, but the bloody thing lived.
Yeah. But I mean, all this, and I mean, this is a 24-year-old vehicle with 500,000 kilometres on it, and we just drove it to Cape York and back.
Yeah.
Like, there really wasn't much in the way of preparation for that.
No. Apart from
Van things, well,
love the kitchen. I'm just going to jump in, sorry. This kitchen is really, I suppose, basic when you look at it. There's a lot of other caravans that have bells and whistles and stuff. And when we bought this caravan, I was looking at the other ones and I'm like, oh my God, I'm a real foodie, love to cook. Oh no, you know. But this one, whoever has designed it has done a fantastic job. It is designed to be used. Everything in it is easy to access. The way the fridge comes out, the drawers, everything, it is so simple. Even just to pull over the side of the road and do like hamburgers with a lot are a winner for us because it's a quick, easy way to have meat and veg and just within some bread, don't have many dishes to do.
But in
So
saying
easy.
that, biggest complaint with the kitchen is the wind.
The wind and the gas.
The wind and the gas.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we were sort of lucky. We did use induction cooking a lot because we put the inverter, the Victron inverter in the caravan, and we've got 400 amps of lithium. So
I would recommend that. Look, it was expensive. That's not a part of this cost. I'm not sure how much all that stuff come to. It was a bit, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, the battery is an iTech World 400 amp hour, and that was $2,700, I think.
Can't remember. That's...
And then we had to get a box made to fit on the chassis rail for that battery because it won't fit in a standard box.
Yep.
So that, I think it was another $750.
So that was that was $750.
And then the inverter itself was about $1,200.
Yeah. So what, about $4,000 all up? $5,000?
Yeah, but in saying that, we have not gone through a single gas bottle, and we're up to 52 nights now in this caravan, and we're still on the one gas bottle. So,
but I think like with the inverter, it's more than just like, the costing's obviously a big component of it, but to be able to cook with the induction cooker whenever, even inside, you know, you can put it on the hot plate rather than using gas.
yeah.
Or if it is a really sticky day, you can turn the air conditioner on and just have a bit of a reprieve. Like, you just don't have to think about it.
Yeah, we can run the air conditioner for 6 to 7 hours without solar.
And wow, it can make a big difference.
That makes a lot of difference to sleep. But
And
trying to put that back into the battery the next day, that's the hard bit.
Yeah, John and I also found that when it's days like that, you might go to a caravan park, but site fees are getting pretty costly now. So because we've got a family, we're probably looking at roughly, give or take, the $100 mark for a site, maybe back to $80. So it doesn't take very long until you've spent that
recuperated it by staying off grid.
Yeah, that's right. And then of course you still have it,
or at the very least you can have an unpowered site at a caravan park and still.
And the solar of course depends on where you go. We were in far north Queensland, so it rains a lot, so it's cloudy. But when you're down south where we come from, like today, this weekend we've been off camping and it's beautiful and sunny, and it was no effort to put the solar back in. So. Yeah,
like we got 400 watts of solar on the roof, and we carted 500 in portable, like a blanket and a portable panel with us. So we had 900 watts of solar all up to try and put that back in. But I mean, still the quickest way to put it back in is to drive the car. So if you're just hopping day to day and driving for hours, it's fine to use a lot of the battery.
Of course, you also have generators, which we
didn't bother with.
We didn't need it, but you know, that's something else you could chuck on if you wanted it. Fishing. John needed a new fishing tackle box and a reel and all that stuff because he needed it.
We'll open it next time.
He's still in the wrapper. So no, I've got no idea where good fishing was. We would starve to death if we had to rely on us fishing.
But we did eat a lot of fish.
We did eat a lot of fish, yes.
Just didn't catch it.
No. But no, overall, it was a really great trip. We thoroughly enjoyed it. There was obviously little bits and pieces that cropped up, but nothing that was detrimental. Nothing stopped us from having a great time. It was good. A highlight for me was definitely Punsand Bay. That was beautiful. I don't think I'd want to camp there, but just to go and visit there.
Just to visit there, day visit, have lunch.
The best way I could probably describe it, I've never been to like Bali or anywhere like that, but it kind of felt like you're walking into like a Balinese resort. That's
Yeah.
how I would describe it, but I've never been to Bali. That's how I imagine it'd be
5
like.
beaches, 4-wheel drive track, well worth doing.
That was very good too. That was incredible. And what was that one? Through the rainforest. It was just a standard drive. It was like a canopy.
That was just the drive to the tip.
Oh, that was amazing.
That was really nice. I wasn't expecting it to be so rainforesty just before the tip.
Yeah, that was really, really spectacular. And probably the other thing that we weren't expecting, which was good, but we weren't expecting it, is when you get to the car park at the tip, it takes almost an hour to walk to the actual tip, and it's rocky and undulating and fairly hilly. So I've got really, really bad feet. So Sam had to help me over there to get to the tip. But I thought you just got there and got out of the car and went, tap, I'm here.
Yeah.
It was good experience, but just allow a little bit of time to get there.
Yeah, other than that, we might pick up the camera and show you a few things around the van that rattled loose and come off, or
There wasn't much.
there
but
wasn't
yeah.
much, but yeah, we'll go through it. If other people might be, they own a Crosstrak and want to know how it'll go, what to
Yeah.
look out for.
And if you have any questions about, like, costing is a huge one before you go away. You don't want to, save up so much money and then go, oh, could have gone 6 months earlier. At
I'll
the same
pop
token,
it all
you
up
don't
on the
wanna be-
screen with all the categories and costing so people can pause it and
That's a good idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then they can
I
see
have
exactly.
Just realised though that the batteries for some reason didn't add on to it as well. So the only thing that it was on here, but it just didn't auto sum. So it was about
$700 for the batteries, was it?
yeah.
Yeah, but
that's
we've got
right.
two. The 100 series has got 2 starting batteries.
Yeah.
So that's unusual. Most cars aren't going to have that.
Yeah, so it's still under 10,000. It just bumps it up to $9,764. I don't know why that didn't come across, but still 10 grand. Well,
It
well
was a
and truly
great
covered.
time. So, the aerial. I think it's just got a bit of dust in it. It comes up and down again like every now and then. We've taped our UHF aerial back together. This light bar, we didn't have any washers with this, but we had bolts and spring washers, so we've tied that back on. The sock was well worth it for the snorkel, but damage wise, nothing on the car. The car's got 500,000 Ks on it, so we did have a headlight globe going out. Anyone who's watched our videos can probably spot that, but we've since put another globe in it. Caravan stone guard worked extremely well. That's all we had. We did fit this plate here to the tap because you see this is a plastic elbow, and we've had it before. The stones just smash that off, so I recommend anyone just get a bit of sheet metal, fold it up, screw it onto the same screw. Worked well. Everything's red. DA35, brilliant to tow with. Red dust I think is going to be with us forever. It has had it clean since we've come home, but this is the box that we had made up from Skipton Street Sheet Metal in Ballarat. They've done a really good job. It proved its worth on the corrugations. So that's where we house our 400 amp hour iTech World battery, and that survived the corrugations as well. So we've been thoroughly impressed with that battery. It was well worth it. Hot water system. It actually, if you open the cover, we had some of these little bolts rattled loose. So anyone that's going up there with one of these hot water systems, open that cover up and have a check, because yeah, we had a couple of them. Oh. There we are, hang on. There we are. Had a couple of them come loose. Other than that, nothing really on this side. Now, nothing really on the front. This kept coming loose, so we just hand tensioned that back up. The awning, however, we did lose one of these screws, so keep an eye on them screws, because we had to cable tie ours to hold that on until we got back. So yeah, I wasn't expecting that one. Inside the van, we've got it packed how we'd normally go. Inside the van, nothing's really out of the ordinary here. Everything held up really well, except for, I'm sure everybody knows that the plastic catches on these ensuite doors are just not good enough for what they need to do. So a bit of tape to hold the door shut. But yes, other than that, in here still looks pretty much like a new Caravan. So that's how we cut the swag. All the drifter bags that we purchased, there's an episode on that if you're interested in drifter bags and how they're made. Bed's really comfy actually. We didn't come home and go, oh, I'm glad to get to my own bed. We were actually a bit disappointed, but yeah, I was surprised at the comfort level. It's not ultra premium, but I didn't wake up sore once. So, dust reduction system. It did require a couple of cleans, and I'd probably take another filter with me next time. It does a fairly good job, but you just got to remember that it's only going to work when you're at speed, because that's forcing the air in. Other than that, these hinges inside here, we had to put bigger screws in there because we just went up a gauge because they were coming loose. None of the drawers come open, but we did have a few of the runners. I just tensioned up the screws again. No issues whatsoever with this door. This door was the same deal. Next size up, just in these screws here. Just a bit more guts to them. Ensuite worked good. It's still fine. Everything else, yeah, it looks as if we haven't used it, and I'm really impressed by that. Yeah, all your power system from projector, that all worked fine. We've got the load shunt in there as well, the projector shunt, so our state of charge is still accurate with the inverter. Diesel heater, we didn't turn that on until I'd got under and cleaned the filter out. So if anyone's got a diesel heater and you're going up there, obviously you're not going to need the heater while you're there, but when you come back down south, just take the air filter off underneath and clean it out before you fire it up, so you're not sucking in any dirt or restricting the air. But no, other than that, very happy with the van. I mean, I think any van that you get is probably going to have screws rattle loose. Like even my brother's van, it had spot welds break and screws come out of doors and stuff. It's just, if you're going to do that many corrugations, it's it's just not going to, you're not going to get away with it scot-free in anything, I don't think. So we did have, I've got this drawer down here. Now that drawer I keep, things like JB weld in metal and plastic and all spares, bolts, nuts, bit of cable for wiring, anything like that. But we didn't really need any of that. The water tanks seem pretty well protected. And one thing we did do though is we unbolted this step. Now the step is pretty vulnerable the way it hangs up underneath like this. It doesn't give you a lot of height from the wheel. So to save damaging it on that trip, we just took it off and then thought, oh, in general use, general roads and that, it's fine. But when you're doing rutted out crossings, yeah, no good. But everybody's back.
We all had a very good time.
Yeah.
We're sitting around our imaginary campfire.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a bit warm for a campfire now. Hey.
Just had a quick weekend.
Yeah. I'll do that. Now you can all talk.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. We all enjoyed our trip anyway. These the big kids, as I call them, didn't want to go back, and they reckon it was pretty nippy when they stepped out of the plane in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Usually it was like a frost or something that night.
Yeah, the next
Yeah.
one was. Everybody's happy to go on another adventure.
Oh, we
Yeah.
can't wait. We're pumped. And thank you to everybody who followed along with us. It's been awesome. This is our first big YouTube adventure that we've ever done, so we've had to learn a lot too. So thank you for learning with us.
And we're keen to do a lot more.
Yes. See you
See
next
ya.
time.